serious, atheists who turned religious. Why? When I was at the lowest point in my life, I had nothing left to live for and needed a reason to keep going and to improve as a person. My friends. I lost them all to my increasingly disgusting behavior. The core values of religion provided a good moral compass for me and helped me be more patient and in control of my actions. I became a better person because of it. And I found a reason to live. Not to say that atheists are bad people. I just mean that it helped me personally become a better and more patient person. I'm the same. Only that I turned atheist from my religious family. Sometimes we just need to find our way and be. I was born and raised in an atheist household. Starting in high school, I was really depressed and didn't know how to seek help. I loved and continue to love my parents, but they didn't allow me to seek medical help. This continued on into my freshman year at college, even though I was living on campus and away from my home. However, I was still stubborn and wasn't comfortable with seeking help. Instead, through an acquaintance I met in a class and, after briefly mentioning about some life issues I was going through, he guided me to Christianity. We would occasionally have Bible study with other students, and I felt belonged. It also warmed my heart to know that God was protecting us all, including me, from evil. In a way, this moment also helped me become a better person by learning to love and not judge people so quickly, help others, and most importantly, love and accept myself for who I am. A few months later, I finally had the courage to get medical help for my depression. I honestly would not have done so had I not become a stronger person, in part due to my curiosity and time with Christianity. Edit. Fixed some grammar. Edit 2. I did not expect this to blow up. First, I want to thank you all for being supportive. I have been able to do much more after being prescribed with medication and getting therapy. Furthermore, I grew up in a culture that isn't friendly to those who have mental illness and issues. Hence why I wasn't able to get help until much later. It's not exciting, and kind of weird to me still. But I found comfort in prayer when I was feeling bad about shit from my younger years. And I guess I just never stopped. I'm not about to spread the gospel or try to convert anyone. But getting back in touch with my spirituality helped me deal with life a little bit more. For the record, I was one of those edgelord atheists that would often try to argue with my religious friends, unprompted, when they just wanted to simply hang out. I was raised Church of Christ in the heart of the Bible Belt, and they were genuinely wonderful people. But I was an angsty goth as a teen. A lot of horrible things happened to me that drove me to rebel against everything. I was working hard to get far away from home. A few years after HS I quit my job and moved to SLC for school, and wanted to learn as much as possible with my time abroad. One day my Mormon roommate asked me to go to his Sunday service, and out of curiosity I decided to go. No, I didn't convert to LDS, but it did ignite a spark in me. The next Saturday, I went to my other roommate's church that was Seventh-day Adventist, and it was really eye-opening. It was like an open discussion instead of being preached to. After that, I made it a point to try a different church every week to better understand how people worship in their own ways. I've been to an almost entirely black Baptist church, Islamic temples, Easter Mass at a large cathedral, Korean First Methodist, and many more. I made lifelong friends, ate all kinds of amazing food, got help during the low times of my life, and most importantly I gained understanding. In the end, I found home with a small Universalist Unitarian congregation back in my hometown because everything just clicked. I wish I could share all the stories and amazing experiences I had, but it would be 100 pages long. And I honestly think that the path to finding spirituality is up to you and how much you search for your own soul in the melting pot of the cosmos. TLDR, being forced to go to church and being told what to believe is a much different experience than opening yourself up and searching for your own understanding of life. I wouldn't say I became religious, But I definitely developed past my teenage edgelord atheist phase. I realized that it was foolish and egotistical of me to totally discount stories that have stuck with mankind for thousands of years. That there were probably valuable lessons and truths in them. I realized that I was looking at the biblical stories on a very surface level, and that there were deeper psychological and moral meanings to them. I don't know, and probably still don't believe, that there's a literal physical God. But if I acted in life as if there was, it would probably lead to better outcomes for me and the people around me. Also, in general, the idea that there is a king above kings is practically useful when it comes to society. That there is, or we should act as if there is, a moral authority beyond the authority of human leaders and governments is a good safeguard. Also, acknowledging the fact that the idea of the divine nature of man led to the valuing of the individual that shaped the wonderful Western society I live in was guided by religion. Also, having children changes you a lot. That probably had something to do with it. I guess that's less of how I became religious than it is how I stopped being an annoying atheist. Well, my story isn't real dramatic. But while I was in basic training, I was a screw up. I had food in my locker, apple and a packet of peanut butter, which wasn't allowed, so one night while everyone was asleep, I heard the drill instructors checking lockers. I knew I was going to be in deep shit if they found them. So I looked up to the sky and put my hands together and asked, if you're there, please save me from being punished and I'll believe. Well, when the time came, they opened my locker and tossed everything on the ground, and by God, my apple rolled inside, stayed inside my jacket. Then my helmet rolled over the giant lump hiding the apple. I thought I was really screwed, and then they just left to another locker. I never heard anything about it afterwards, so once guard shift came, I ate my apple and peanut butter and threw them in the toilet and flushed. Deleted. I actually started religious, turned atheist, and am now religious again. I became religious again because I started taking a serious look at how science explains the universe, and also about how my own life was to be linear. People often say that science and religion don't fall hand in hand, but things in the theory of creation and theories on evolution do seem like God is in there. The Big Bang, for example, was a massive explosion that dispersed matter throughout the ever-expanding cosmos. But no one can answer how it came to fruition. There's also the intricate complexities of the human body that have developed through evolution. The way I think of it, because God created man in his own image, is that he worked us out over time. Similar to how we build robots and develop technology over time until it becomes so complex and near perfect. The way man creates things is similar to how God created everything over time. Moving on to more personal aspects of my life. It's always been strange how things would eerily fall into place whenever I really hoped for something. I am currently studying to become a programmer. And people that I've passed before on the streets numerous times would either finally talk to me or vice versa. They would tell me that they were either in cybersecurity, work for a professional game development company, or work for businesses as a programmer, and they would offer me opportunities to work for them or to further pursue my future goals. It's almost as if it were destiny or mayo. But seeing these things really made me turn a complete 180. And I've finally made up my mind. All these challenges in life are a test that he's devised in order to test our faith and our character. Sorry if I wasn't clear on some parts. I'm not that great at explaining things, but this AskReddit is something that really applied to me. Thanks for reading. I don't believe in a little God that is sitting on my shoulder helping me through my daily ordeal. But I do believe in a huge God that has the universe to worry about. Wanted to believe in something. Mocking people who believed in something got old. I didn't turn religious in the sense that I follow a religion. But after some pretty intense experiences with acid, I came to understand that there most definitely is something beyond the physical plane, and that our sense isn't really equipped to understand it. The argument for atheism is always that the onus is on religion to prove God exists. Which is fine and all, but is God created the universe really any worse an explanation than a Big Bang happened but we don't know why, and an enormously complex sequence of unlikely events just happened by coincidence, and here we are.